most of us will know the stat. About 6% of all US children will lose a parent before they reach the age of 18. And if that parent happens to be the primary breadwinner, stats also show that almost half, 44% of those households will encounter financial hardship within 6 months.
Everyone's a little bit different. And then that's what allows us as salespeople, as business people, to be able to be flexible and continue to improve our skill set so we're able to be versatile enough to be able to serve more people. All right. Thanks for joining us this week on the Elite Sales Podcast. I'm very happy to be joined this week by special guest, Brett Wilson, from Ethos, the VP of what? VP
Partner Operations.
Partner Operations. I'll let you guys guess his accent in just a bit. We have co-host John.
How you doing?
And then we also have a new producer of the show. We have Marco working the scenes behind. We have Yoel, who Yoel, can you grab your mic real quick?
Last day.
What's good? What's good?
So Yoel, this is Yoel's last day. We've decided it's time to move on from this guy because we're just tired of. No, I'm just kidding.
Good riddance.
He's actually going to be continuing to be working with the agency. It's just he'll be doing it remotely from
Israel.
From Israel to
Middle East. Very random.
Yep.
I know that took you by surprise.
See, Yoel was looking for a very peaceful place that has no conflict.
Yeah. I just, it was the perfect time to go. You know? Yeah.
No, but I just wanted to give a heartfelt shout out to Yoel for everything he's done for our agency the last 3-4 years or however long it's been.
It's been that long.
It feels like we've known each other for a very long time. And the thing is, it's not a goodbye. He's still going to continue to work with the agency. It's just he's going to be doing it physically somewhere else, remotely. Mm-hmm. He's going to be continuing to be a big part of this agency and everything we're going to do. Marco,
introducing Yoel's replacement,
new producer Marco. He'll be helping us out for all of our media productions. So he's looking forward to exciting new things. Obviously, going to be sad to not physically be around Yoel to hang out, be able to talk, be able to have deep conversations about homelessness and unhoused
folks,
and all these very important topics. But you've been a real asset to the organization. You know, we've come a long way during that time that you've been here with us, and just want to say appreciate you.
Appreciate you, man, for real. It's I don't want to make it like all somber because I'm still gonna work here, obviously, and some of you guys may see me the same amount that you have seen me, which is not that often at all.
Or never.
Or never.
Or maybe more. Not that
I'll still be super involved, so it's not goodbye, it's see you later. But no, it's all good. I appreciate it, man. Everything you've done, everyone that's part of the agency, I've grown a lot just from working here and being part of this agency. And it's beautiful what we've built and the things that we've all been able to accomplish, together. So it's been incredible. So I look forward to still being a part of the journey and us to continue to kill it.
Right. And, I remember when you all had this conversation with me, like you brought it up all seriously. And I was just like, he's like, hey, I've been thinking about this. And, I just want to spend some time with my family out there and so on and so forth. And I don't know if you were wondering how I was going to respond to it or if I was going to be like, you're fired.
Well, no, I didn't want to be like, hey, I'm doing this and then you have to be on board. I kind of just wanted to say, hey, I'm going to do this and, it is what it is. Like, obviously ball's in your court, it's your, obviously I enjoy being here. I think I'm an asset here, but I don't want to assume that I'm entitled to something that I'm necessarily not. So I just kind of presented it as, as pragmatically, I guess, as possible.
Yeah. And it really made me reflect upon every single one of us for our opportunity here at Family First Life with Family First Life Elite or your own particular business. We all have the opportunity to kind of take control of what we want to do, assuming you're working. If you're not doing that, you have no control. So, when he told me that bit of information, he's thinking about doing this, my initial reaction was kind of like, oh, I'm going to miss it. I'm going to miss him because we've been around each other for this long. And he's a person whose opinion I really respect. And I enjoy having conversations with him and making jokes and cracking wise and doing all that. But, part of me was also really grateful. I was really thankful that we have this opportunity in which, number one, we can figure out a way to still make this thing work so we can still continue to work together. But also, I understand the bigger picture in life. He has an opportunity to go spend with his family while they're still alive, while they're still healthy. So, for me as an associate, business associate, or as a boss, or just as a friend, I mean, this is a great opportunity for him, and I can't keep him from that. So for everything that we do in terms of respect of our business, I want the same thing for everybody else. Doesn't mean I can do it for you. Doesn't mean I can provide it for you necessarily. But the thing is, all I know is that the setup that we have puts us in a position where we can all make decisions for ourselves if we put in that work, if we can figure out some solutions. And if you feel that there's something that you could do things better, or you could, or would suit you better, bring up the idea. But then that part is on you. That part is for you to figure out, how do we, if you want to continue to have a certain type of business relationship, or you want certain things out of the other person, and we go through this pretty frequently on our show here, we talk about, if you want something from somebody or you want help from someone, how do you get them to see why it's beneficial for them to help you? Right.
Yep.
So it's a bittersweet moment, but happy for and excited for the future for you. And we're going to continue to chug along. We're going to continue to do what we do at Elite, and we're going to continue to grow. So I want to start off with that. But before I get to Brett, which we have tons of great stuff to be talking about, because I was also very curious myself, because there's so much about Ethos that I would like to learn about. But before we get into it, not to make this all about myself, which I always say right before I'm about to make this all about myself,
Right.
but it's just for a second. Okay. So yesterday I had a particularly good day.
Yeah.
Okay.
You had a good 2 sale day too, right?
Two
Production.
sale day,
Big
and I
sales.
helped 5 families for our friends at the FTC. But and I don't mean it because of the amount of money I made, or the amount of production or commission or anything like that. I just had a good day because woke up in the morning, started taking care of my personal stuff, hopped on the phones, lead came in. I called that lead, and then the lead, number one, there was no resistance on that one. So,
Lay down.
which happens once in a while, that which entirely goes to having enough leads and having enough activity. That will happen to everyone. You will have your laydowns, you will have the low hanging fruit if you invest in your leads and you talk to enough people.
Yeah.
But it wasn't really about that. It was more about when I talked to the guy, we just kind of connected. He was a friendly guy, sent him my business card, sent him my picture, everything else, did my normal protocol. And then, I was like, hey, why'd you sign up for this in the first place? What were you thinking about? And he's like, well, I'm a truck driver, and everybody needs it. I have, want to leave some money for my mom, for my lady, for my kid. And I was like, that's very responsible. Okay, great. So then we went through a couple of different programs, reviewed the plans, and then he decided one in the middle. I typically show 3.
Right.
So he decided in the middle, and then I was like, cool. So I signed him up, got him approved, and then everything went really smoothly. And I was like, it's a great way to start the day. It's pretty decent sized sale, and why can't it be a win-win, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I had another presentation which I wasn't able to help out, but at the end I went through the entire presentation. He said, no, it's probably not quite for me, or that's not really what I'm looking for. So I was like, no problem. Sorry, I couldn't help you out more. I'm going to send you a link to Ethos. You can look it over at your leisure, and then you can let me know if you have any questions. You can sign up for everything entirely on there yourself. You can take control, or if you have any questions or you need me to help you with the application, I'll be happy to do so. Right. So that happened. Made a few other calls, and then from the previous day, and I was on live dials for this, but I was talking to this one client, and he was yelling at me the entire time. He was like not in the mood for it, and then he was just like angry. Then we tried an application that had a voice app, so then we get a third party on there, and then like I felt bad for that rep, because like I felt like I could see myself in that position. So like he was angry at me the whole time. He was yelling at me the whole time, and then ultimately I handed it over to the voice app, the third party representative. And then he was like, yes, I just said yes already. Blah, 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 blah. And he just like keeps going off. And I'm like, I know how that feels.
Yeah. If you guys have never done a voice app, man, it's long. They read word for word, and they want a yes or no. So if you got a client that just talks a little bit, they say this, they say that, man, they just will read that again. That's all they would do. It's bad.
they're extremely thorough, and they're also kind of like the Department of Sales Prevention,
Yeah.
because they're like, are you sure you want to purchase this policy? Are you aware that you don't need to purchase this policy? Are you aware that you can cancel this policy anytime? And I'm like, stop saying it so loud. I'm like, let me handle the sales part. But anyway, we go through the process. Unfortunately, he got rated, and then when I discussed the new rate with him, he said, "Oh, that's not for me. I don't want to do it." And I was like, "Great, let me pivot to another carrier." Beautiful thing about being a broker. So I pivoted to another carrier, quoted him, and then he's like, "How come you guys don't come out anymore?" Right? And I was like, usually I'm like, well, we can serve more clients this way, and it's not always geographically feasible. He's like an hour away from where I live.
What city?
In Palmdale.
Okay.
Yeah.
Palmdale. You went all the way
I
out.
went all the way up to Palmdale.
Wow.
So the thing is, typically I value my time.
Yeah.
And for most people, if they can't book me, I'll send another agent out there, and I'll be like, I can't physically go out there and meet with you. We could do it over the phone, but if you can't, I'll find someone for you. But in this situation, I number one, I felt bad. I didn't want to send an agent out there to get yelled at in case he's like that. But also, I heard the frustration in his voice the entire time. And like, I didn't take anything personally, because how could it be personal? He doesn't know me, right? We don't have any history aside from that particular phone call. So, I went through, I was like, he's like, how come you guys don't come out anymore? And I was like, you know what, sir? Where do you live? And we went through, and I'm like, you know what? Okay, what time's good for you tomorrow? So I decided to run my morning appointments, set aside some time, go out to meet with him. And I wasn't even sure that I could get him qualified for anything that was that high in premium, because, he already got rated for something else. And then I could have easily just like figured out another way, but I'm like, you know what? Something in his voice made me want to go out and just meet with this guy and help him out. So I went to that appointment, went over there just expecting him to yell at me. And I was just thinking, how am I going to win this guy over? Because that's just what I try to do.
Right.
I wasn't worried about him. I wasn't nervous about him being angry or anything, because I'll figure out a way to diffuse it. But as soon as I got there, introduced myself, gave me this handshake. He's like, "Oh, hey." And he's like, "Come on in." And not unpleasant at all. He was just really nice guy the entire time. And I'm like, a lot of the frustration that he had over the phone was probably because he didn't understand the process, or he didn't trust the process as far as who he's dealing with. And then he asked for someone to come out. So, that was a big signification for me that, this is what the guy's been needing. And he's needed a little extra attention, a little extra care. Yeah. And then we talked the entire time, got him covered, which the policy was really relatively easy to get set up. And then I remember he even said, he starts talking to me about religion, starts asking me like what ethnicity I am, where I'm from, all this other stuff. He starts telling me about himself, his kids, his grandkids. And, then I realized this guy's just kind of lonely.
Yeah.
Which, he talked about his rough life, all this other stuff. And I'm like, the policy itself didn't really make a difference. Like I was able to help him. I'm glad I was able to do that. But the reality was, I was able to make a difference in this person's life today anyway. I'm not going to say it's like some big scale change, but, it felt really nice. And I think that's the type of relationships we all hope to achieve in our pursuit of dealing with clients. Not always going to work out that way, obviously, as happened to me, plenty of times. But then the one situation that you're able to just genuinely help somebody and show them you care and show them that you're going to go through everything that you can do to try to help them out. I mean, it meant a lot to that person, and it just felt amazing.
Yeah. I think I remember Trey Honeycutt would have these meetings, and he would talk about that. Just from talking to people, talking to agents, talking to your clients, you go from high tech to high touch, right? And him needing that additional support, having someone do it all for him without having to be on the phone, understand someone on the phone. You could just be in person. That's the beautiful part about doing in-home presentations. You do all the work, and he could just sit back and relax and felt to be taken care of.
But I mean, we're going to get into Ethos in just a bit, which is pretty forward thinking, pretty progressive. Yeah. He was very old school.
Right.
And the thing is, like, as much as it's convenient for us to do a telesale or a virtual sale and do it from the comfort of our own home, the thing is, there are still some people out there that still prefer the old fashioned way of doing things. And for us to just presume, oh, clients don't want to be bothered, clients would rather do it this way, the least amount of resistance for the client, that's what they prefer. I mean, everyone's a little bit different. Mm-hmm. And then that's what allows us as salespeople, as business people, to be able to be flexible and continue to improve our skill set, so we're able to be versatile enough to be able to serve more people.
Yeah. If it was us, where we're high tech, would we want someone to spend their time and then, you know, feel comfortable in them coming over to our home?
Right.
I'd probably prefer to do Ethos. let me do it. I don't need you.
Right.
Right.
Right. So yeah, I mean, and you know, it was I remember he even went through the process of telling me, yeah, no one helps me, and you know, and Meals on Wheels came and delivered a meal during the presentation. You know, he wasn't doing great financially and health wise, he wasn't doing great, but you know, it was just nice because, and you know, he had like a real human moment at that time, and then you know, that's something that you know we all have to continue to keep that in mind at the times we're dealing with clients. If they yell at you, it's not personal. If they cuss you out, it's not personal. If they hang up on you, it's not personal. All these different things is not personal. But if you have an opportunity to be able to help them, it becomes personal for us, right? So just keep that in mind the next time you're struggling. You know, hopefully that is something that you guys will get a chance to just achieve that feeling, because I think that'll remind you why you got into this business in the first place. Sure, there's money to be made. Sure, you can grow a business. Sure, you can get promoted and all that other good stuff. But if you break it down to the core of what we do, if you want to have some meaning in what it is that you have with your business, that's something like that. That's it.
Yeah.
And I was like, good day. I'll take that and then hope to continue to build on that.
Man, not a bad day to help 5 families.
Help 5 families by helping 2
sales.
Don't know how that math works, but our FTC friends will.
Good job.
Well, thank you. So enough about me. Brett Wilson,
Yes, sir.
glad to have you here.
It is great to be here. Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, so we're one of the first agencies you got a chance to visit.
It is. We're really excited about it. Yeah.
Okay.
You're famous and you're well known. And
It's funny to
speaking to
hear.
other folks in the industry, they're like, you got to go meet with Albert and his team. And so I'm excited to be here.
Take it.
Wow.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think there's a lot of unknowns about Ethos because you guys are relatively new in this space, you know, compared to some of the other carriers that have been around for a while. We've had a chance to deal with them. We understand how their business model works.
Yeah.
All right. Can you tell us a little about give us a little breakdown about Ethos, how you guys started, what you guys are hoping to achieve in this space?
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe to take a step back.
Sure.
and like to almost like follow on from your story, which I love, by the way, because that's I think why we're all in this business.
Yeah.
Most of us will know the stat. About 6% of all US children will lose a parent before they reach the age of 18. And if that parent happens to be the primary breadwinner, stats also show that almost half, 44% of those households will encounter financial hardship within 6 months. And that's really why Ethos started back in 2016. It was to really solve that problem for families like that who lose the sole breadwinner, and really just make it easier for them, easier, more affordable, faster to acquire life insurance.
Yep.
I've experienced this personally as well, working in the traditional insurance industry around the world.
Yep.
Just the devastating impact not having life insurance can have. And so really that's why Ethos exists. Our mission is to protect the next million families. So started in 2016, and really what Ethos is built. Ethos is a data and tech company that has built up an impressive end-to-end capability, from marketing to distribution to doing the underwriting and then to doing the policy administration as well, that makes it easier for families to get protected. More importantly, also makes it easier for agents to protect families. And that's what we're working day in and day out to do these days.
So you guys didn't start with insurance in mind. You guys kind of just built up some technology, and then you're like, hey, insurance would be great for this.
Well, it started with insurance for sure.
Okay.
And recognizing that problem of how many people just get turned off from applying for insurance because of how clunky it is and how manual it was at the time. And so data and tech was a thing that was going to solve that problem. And we learned things along the way and built up those capabilities to make it a really seamless, effortless process for folks to get affordable coverage really quickly and really efficiently.
Well, we're really excited about this partnership with FFL. You know, so how did you guys decide to partner with FFL to begin with?
We were thinking, so when Ethos started, we didn't have any agent partnerships
Right.
or agency partnerships. And we were solely focused on direct to consumer business, folks coming onto our website and buying life insurance directly from us. And we realized what was really working was the convenience, the ease, the speed of the process. And that was what was really helping our direct to website clients. We thought, hold on, to the point you were making. There is definitely that category of client that prefers not to have to deal with a person when buying life insurance. And
Absolutely.
that opened up doors for those clients who would have been put off by sitting in front of an agent in the past.
Pressure sales and all these things.
Right. But at the same time, there's a whole lot of clients as well who are totally put off by not having an agent sit next to them and have that conversation and be reassured that I'm speaking to someone who knows what they're talking about, has my best interests at heart.
Right.
And that's where we started exploring this idea of partnering with agents to make insurance more accessible to their clients. Now, agents obviously know what needs to be done. They know to do a needs analysis with their client. They know how to find out what their client needs and get them covered. We found that we could really support agents in this process in making the whole process more efficient and more streamlined and just save them a whole lot of time in the process. And so a lot of those same things that we've done by building up that end-to-end infrastructure benefit our agent business as well. And so that's how we really started partnering with agencies. Did a lot of experimenting in the beginning. Not every agency is the right fit for Ethos.
Sure.
We found the agents that are part of FFL, and FFL and the way it's set up is a fantastic fit with the value props that Ethos offers. And that started in, I would say, October last year, and it's just taken off like a rocket ship. It's really accelerated really quickly. We found an amazing fit, and just going from height to height in terms of our partnership.
It's exciting. If I could be frank with you,
yes,
I mean, I remember seeing Ethos's advertisements on social media when I'm scrolling through, and I used to be like, they're trying to cut out the middleman, which is us, right? Which, I mean, obviously we're more than just the middleman, but from that relationship, from directly from the insurance carrier to the client, if there's no agent, then that means they can sell. People can go on, they can sell, they can sign up for their own policies, and then with the way that technology is moving, it's tough to really kind of see how it's going to turn out just that early. Because you all and I, we talk about AI all the time. You and I talk about AI.
Artificial intelligence is crazy.
I'm always like, is AI going to replace us and kill us all? And just that there's no more need for humans. Where in reality, that's not necessarily true. And
I agree.
I looking at all your guys' ads, I'm like, yeah, I guess there's going to be some bunch of millennials, a bunch of people that are antisocial, people that just don't really want to deal with a human being, which there's plenty of those. There's definitely that market. I was thinking like, oh, so guess we're not going to deal with those people anymore. And that kind of shrinks our market share for what it is that we do. But, it turned out to be very different because the thing is, those people are going to sign up with a company. They don't have to deal with a human being anyway.
Yeah.
But the majority of people, they'll see it. It's actually helped our marketing because they see things like Ethos. They're like, okay, I'm kind of seeing the need for it. I can kind of understand why. But at the end of the day, I still want to talk to someone before I actually move forward with it.
Yeah. I think the one thing that AI is not going to replace is any occupations that have relationships at their core, right? Because AI can make us more efficient.
Right.
It can be, 10,000 times more efficient than we are, and it can help in that way. But what it's going to really struggle to do is be good at relationships. And for a large swathe of our population, relationships are critical to a whole lot of things that we do and that we're interested in. Buying life insurance is one of those, and that's one thing that AI is not going to replace. AI is going to help us become more efficient in managing those relationships and identifying which are the right relationships. But it's not going to cut out the need for those relationships, I don't think. And so I think our jobs are safe for the time being.
We're secured.
Like honestly, they can't even get down the how like when you call like an airline or something, and then they're like, say yes if this is the correct blah blah blah. I'm like, I don't want to talk to nobody. Like I feel like a psychopath having a conversation with like a robot. And I know it's not real person. Stop trying to make me feel like I'm talking to a real person. I have self-esteem. I don't want to talk to a random person. So I think they're trying to get there. I think maybe they will get there eventually, but it's really not even close. And it's almost like a slap in the face to real agents because I'm like, dude, give me the real agent. I want to talk to a human. You know what I'm saying? So it's just to piggyback on what you said.
Right.
And it's extremely frustrating to deal with AI sometimes too, because then like they'll give a situation like that. Say yes for whatever. Say press press one, and I'm like, and then you say something, and they're like, I'm sorry, I didn't get that, and I'm like,
I get to
it's like
press
taking a step
9 to
back.
speak to a human.
I used to just try to press 0 or 9 or to just try to bypass it.
everything
They
goes-
stopped it.
Yes.
That's not an incorrect input. Let me start over.
We've gone back, right? Because back then it was easier because you would press a button, right?
Right.
Now it's even worse because you could say it wrong and then there's a delay for them to be like, I didn't get that. And you're just like, dude, this is annoying.
Yeah. I would just yell, representative, representative.
And the sad thing is, like, even if you yell at that automated machine, like, you can't even hurt its feelings. I just want to hurt someone's feelings because I'm frustrated.
I want to feel above somebody.
But yeah, I mean, that's the direction we're all headed, and it's kind of a neat journey into mixing the two, the human element and dealing with real people, and then kind of infusing technology into the whole process.
Yeah. I also love the fact that your story from yesterday involved one client who an in-person kind of conversation didn't yield any results, but then you could leverage the technology to kind of close that sale. And another client who you absolutely needed to be in front of them to close the sale. And just like one thing I would say about what we've learned at Ethos and how we've built our platform to support agents is that agents can actually go either route with us, right?
Yeah.
So as an agent, and by the way, a lot of agents don't know this, if you're an FFL agent, you already have an Ethos agent portal.
Yes.
You don't need to sign up. You don't need to contract. You're already signed up. You just have to go to agents.ethoslife.com, type in your phone number, and you're in your portal, and you can start selling today with Ethos, right? So that's one thing. Once you get into that portal, you've actually got two options. One option you can click on the sidebar is application. That's for the human relationship route. If you want to be sitting in front of your client or with your client on the phone and completing the application with them, you can do that instantly and immediately. Like your example from yesterday, though, if a client's not interested in having a further conversation, but you want to see if they can perhaps get a better deal going direct, you can share your personalized agent website link with them by email, via SMS, and allow them to complete it themselves. And I think that's really powerful. Having both of those options kind of meets both needs, and both needs exist out there in the world. So hopefully that's something useful.
If I could just add, so when you're sending the text, they see your link, right? But if you put their email in, I believe Ethos does some marketing because now they've captured their emails, correct?
That's right. So if you put their email in, they're going to receive an email message with your link as well.
Correct.
And they're going to click on that link to start their application or to get a quote. They start an application and they complete that application, which, by the way, takes 10 minutes to complete, which is pretty cool. That sale will be attributed to you naturally because they did it with your link. Let's say imagine that they click on that link and they start an application, but they don't actually end up finishing it. What does Ethos do? Ethos is actually going to email, text, and in many cases, call out to that client to try and get them to complete the application.
This is an important part, so make sure you guys listen to this. 'Cause we ran into a situation like this the other day.
They're going to be folks reaching out to those clients to try and get them to complete their application and get them across the finish line. And in many cases, our team is very effective at doing that. We've had agents call us like very panicked when they've heard about this happening because they're like saying, hey, I sent my client to Ethos and Ethos is now reaching out to their client. Is Ethos taking the credit for this client?
Right.
Am I going to see any of the fruits of that effort? All Ethos is doing is Ethos is partnering with you to get that client to activate their policy. That policy, if the client activates, no commission is going to Ethos agents for the activation of that policy. The commission is all going to you as the agent. So really, it's just a service that Ethos is providing to get that client over the finish line and get them paying for their policy.
And that's up to 6 months, correct?
Actually, yes, 180 days technically.
Okay. 90
so
days.
180 days after you've shared your link out and the client's either got a quote or started their application, if that client within those 180 days actually does manage to complete that application and activate the policy, often with the help and prompting of our nurture campaigns of our staff calling out to them to get them to activate, that is attributed to the agent who shared the link.
And that's like affiliate link, is that what?
Correct.
That's
Yeah.
what it's called. Yeah, because we actually ran into the situation
A few days ago.
I had to talk to Brett because I had an agent that was convinced someone is stealing her leads and is calling up and trying to take that business that, you know, she worked hard to market for and all that. So I get the concerning part. But then I was like, I've actually heard from the last training with Andrew Taylor. He said the cool thing is, like, once you put them into the drip marketing campaign, their Ethos representative will continue to help get them across the finish line, right? To make sure that they complete the application. And then if it sells, it still goes back to the originating agent.
Correct. Absolutely.
Which I thought was an awesome service.
And you don't have to just take my word for it. One of the cool things about your Ethos agent portal, which is already set up for you, is it's got a customers tab in it. And that customers tab has got the full record of all the links that you've sent out and customers have actually started applications. So you can see and track yourself real time how far that customer is in the process, whether they've completed the application, and if they've in fact activated, it will show up there. I mean, it can't disappear.
Right.
And that's the way to verify that it's just not Brett saying this. This is actually how we do business.
Hope you're enjoying the video so far. Please make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, anything to help support the algorithm so we can continue to bring you more valuable content and continue to be part of your lives. Also, if you don't feel that it's providing you that much support since you're already at this point, like and subscribe anyway. I kind of get it from the agent's perspective because, look, when it comes to purchasing leads and all that stuff, and some vendors resell. Some vendors they sell to multiple agents, and then you're thinking, am I competing with somebody else on this? Is someone else trying to take my business that I've worked this hard to get it up to this point for? But you know, Ethos, if you guys provide that service, that's almost like a free personal assistant.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
A free additional closer.
and it makes sense because we've obviously invested the time in that client starting the application, and so it makes sense financially for both us and the agent for us to try and get that client over the line.
Got it.
Yeah, I actually do have a client. I walked her through. I was on the phone with her, completed the app, and then she stopped on the bank account. She's already gotten approved, set. She said, "I'm going to talk to my husband," and then let it go. So she's been on the system for, I would say, now 30 days to under. So hopefully Ethos is still going to close her.
Yeah,
I would send her a response. She stopped responding to me. So hopefully that sale will come through.
It's at least double, but probably more than double your effort, right? Because there's not only one Ethos person who's going to be following up. There's going to be a few continuous follow-ups or on a certain cadence from our side. And hopefully those repeated efforts mean that we've given everything we can to trying to activate that client. Right.
That's awesome. Yeah. So you're saying email and phone calls and text messages.
Correct.
Wow.
Touch them every way possible, right?
That's great.
So, you know, while we're on the topic
Please.
of commissions, right? So one thing is we're very interested in making sure commissions are attributed to the agent who initiated the lead or the sale. One thing that's really exciting as well that we've started this month, the month of May, is we've increased the frequency with which we release commission payments.
Right.
It's almost daily now, right?
It's every weekday. We're releasing commission payments. So the day after the first premium clears on your policy, you can expect to see that payment being released and routed to your writable account, straight to your bank account. So we're excited about that, and we're optimistic about how it's going to help our agent partners run their businesses, because we heard you. We were on a once a week cadence, and we heard from our FFL agents that this was a pain point, and we heard you, and we hope that change makes a difference to your businesses.
Yeah. Speaking of commissions, I don't know. You guys are like one of the craziest in the industry where you guys pay full 12-month advance. Is that correct?
Right. Now, we don't do this for all of our agent partners. I should make.
Okay.
So you're not part of FFL. First of all, where are you? Why aren't you here?
That is the point.
But this is crazy.
It really has got to do with the fact that it's a partnership with FFL.
Okay.
And the security that partnership provides and the infrastructure that partnership provides enables us to have this structure. And it's certainly a big plus for agents who might be thinking of doing their own thing. One of the advantages of coming to Ethos through FFL is this 12-month upfront commission right now.
Yeah, because I heard before from other outside of FFL, it was on as earned, correct?
That's right. Yeah, typically agents who partner with Ethos are on as earned.
Wow.
Until they earn a certain track record with us and a certain persistency record as well.
Kind of need a guarantor
Kind
above
of
them,
got to
right?
earn your way there. Yeah.
So basically almost like a residual side
Right.
built up.
Now, obviously all of us want to be sure that we write business which has good persistency.
Sure.
We write business for people who need it. And like looking at all of your approach to sales, it's clear that that's a process you go through and that you do take care doing that. The structures and the processes that FFL agents have in place makes it possible for Ethos to offer the upfront commissions.
Crazy.
Yeah. It was really, I didn't even understand it when Andrew Taylor was telling us.
Yeah.
He's like, they pay out full commission. I'm like, yeah, the advance part, right?
It's like,
And he's like,
9 months?
12 months. And I'm like, no way. And I'm like, I gotta wait till I see this. And then when I start paying out, I'm like, oh, this is really cool.
Yeah.
Now we'll combine that with robust support. So, if you're an agent who's just writing terrible business that's not staying on the books, you will hear from us.
Yeah.
And we like to work with you to make you aware of that. And our agent portal makes it really easy to do that real time. You can see your customers that you've activated and if they're still in force or not and how many of them are going off books. So you can react to that in real time. If you're not able to, we will reach out to you to let you know and work with you on a plan to improve things and turn the situation around.
Okay.
It's in all of our interests to make sure that clients keep on paying their premiums.
Right. So in a situation like that, if a client has a policy fall off, they have some debt. When they write the next policy, does that go to satisfy that first? Like, how does that percentage?
Yeah.
How does that work?
It will work that way. So, if there's a commission debt that exists, then future commissions that are earned are used to offset that debt. A commission debt is allowed to stay around for 60 days. After 60 days, if it's not cleared, it will roll up to your upline.
Yeah.
And then, every 30 days after that, it rolls up to the next upline if it's not cleared. So, in addition to hearing from us early on, you'll probably hear from your upline if that's not resolved in time. But I think this is pretty standard in the industry, and so we're just trying to make it as effective for all parties as possible.
Okay, cool. So it's important to know this stuff. I mean, we went over chargebacks and debt a couple weeks ago, just so people are aware of it, because sometimes we review debt with people, and then there's like, oh, I didn't know it was going to roll to you. I'm like, where do you think it's going to go? It's not going to magically just the carrier's not going to say, oh, because the agent didn't pay for it, we'll forgive it. Let's just move on. Yeah. Water under the bridge. It's
one of the things I can maybe put a plug for here is if you're a manager and you've got downlines and persistency and debt management is an issue for you, we do have every 2 weeks on a Wednesday, we do have manager trainings that we host. And I know one of the recent ones we've hosted is on persistency management and debt management. If you're interested, you can register for these manager trainings if you are a manager at ethoslife.events/FFL managers. And we've got a whole lot of topics that we cover, but that's certainly one of them. And there's some recordings of those as well, which you can go and check out and hope you find useful.
And this is weekly every Wednesday?
Those manager trainings are every second Wednesday.
Okay.
We do also have every Wednesday a new agent training. So if you're a new FFL agent, we have a training every Wednesday. Similar way to sign up, ethoslife.events/FFL new agents is how you sign up for those.
Okay. I think you guys will get some emails. We'll post it in the chat later. So, but for the agents that want to bypass all this, all that, so you can give them the cool stuff right here on this podcast.
Yeah.
What's some of the more important points that they should look for?
Right. So just to repeat again, if you're an agent and you're an FFL agent, you already have an Ethos portal. Right. You do not have to sign up. Yep. You do not need to get contracted. Just go to agents.ethoslife.com and you'll get access to your portal. As I said, you can apply your way. You can apply using the website link, sharing that with your clients, or using the agent-assisted application on the portal. Just to hit on a few things that a lot of you will know, but like worth repeating. Once you start an application, or once your client starts an application with Ethos, it's 100% online. It's only a few health questions. There's no medical tests involved. Mm-hmm. A lot of people don't realize that it's no medical tests, even for cover amounts above $1 million. So I know some carriers market no medical test, but then you end up only qualifying for like $25,000, and that's not going to help your client. There's no medical tests for any of the cover amounts that we offer, and you can go up to $2 million actually without any medical tests. So it's just that fully online process to get through. It takes about 10 minutes.
Right.
And then at the end of 10 minutes, what is also really powerful about Ethos is because we're not a single product, single carrier company, 95% of all applicants who complete that 10-minute application process are going to get an offer. If you're a single carrier, a single product company, you're probably going to only have a niche set of the market that you're going to be able to make an offer to at the end of a online interview. We can make an offer to 95% of applicants because we don't only have one product on our platform, we have 7 products on our platform.
Right.
And what's happening in the background as the applicant is sharing their information and their risk profile with us is our algorithm is finding the best product that they would qualify for in the background and making them the final offer based on that product. So for your newer agents, this is very attractive because the newer agent doesn't have to spend the time and the energy in trying to research which product to offer to their client. If you're an agent who prefers to know before going into the interview with the client which product they're going to qualify for, that is available. We've got underwriting guidelines, knockout grids on our resources section of our portal. So that's a pretty exciting thing about the Ethos platform.
Can I interrupt with a question?
Yeah, sure.
So if you say there's no medical questions, what criteria do you guys look at to determine?
There are medical questions. There's no medical tests.
No medical without the medical test. So carriers have their different process, obviously, so based off of their product, how much they're covering someone for.
Right.
What process does Ethos go through to determine whether or not a client's eligible, whether or not they'll accept them?
Yeah. So this is what we've built up by collecting data from thousands of applicants over time. Really based on what they tell us in response to these questions about not only their health history, but also their personal history and their habits, and the permission that the client gives us to access data around their medical records and pharmaceutical records, all of which we receive real time while they're completing the application. We can do a risk assessment of that client in the background. This is where the technology comes in.
Sure.
Makes the process really efficient so that by the end of that 10-minute interview, based on the 7 products that we have on our platform, we know the best product that client could get offered.
Right.
Yeah. I personally have an Ethos policy. As soon as Ethos came in, I signed up for myself. I just had the baby. So I figured, let me go get my 20-year, $1 million term with Ethos.
Let me pretend to be a responsible father.
Right. It was pretty great. At 37, I got a $50 plan for $1 million for 20 years. Really cheap. Took me 5-10 minutes to do the application. But the craziest part is I'm doing the application, I'm doing the questionnaire. I didn't have to put my full social in there. It only asked for the last 4.
That's crazy.
And it gave me an underwriting. I'm like, what the heck? How does it know all of this? Answered a couple of questions about my health conditions. And then boom, based on this, I only wanted $1 million, right? And Ethos has a little upsell in there. Based on your information on your income, you should get like 2 million. He kept on trying to upgrade me. Give me back. Let me draw the line back down. You should do it for 30 years. So there's great features on it because you can sell or you can show, it'll show what your client wants, but in the middle of the application, it'll tell them you should get higher. And then it's up to you to decide if you want to go down or not.
Yeah, they have that little slider feature too. So then it'll how much you want to pay or how much coverage, and you can kind of slide it and tell you, based off of that information, how much it'll cost you or how much coverage you can get if you want to spend X amount.
Right.
Cool.
Put a lot of effort into the UX of that and making sure that it's as intuitive and easy as possible. Again, trying to streamline the process, not only for the client, but for the agent who might be having that conversation with their client real time.
Yeah. And additional features, just to let you guys know, for clients that don't want to provide their bank accounts, for clients that don't want to provide their full social, Ethos is a great feature because they do accept credit cards as well. That's
right. That was the next point I was going to make because
full
range of payment options, credit card, debit card, and ACH, which is good to know in going into the conversations with your clients. One other thing I'd point out is any client who activates is going to get free access to legal will, living trust, health directive services, which I think, if you're paying for those services just on their own, you could be paying hundreds of dollars to get that. And every policyholder with Ethos, subject to it being available in the state, is has access to that free at no additional cost.
Yeah, can you expand on that? Because as soon as I got my policy, I got a piece of paper and just stashed it. I didn't read that part. It says you can get your free will, but whatever. I got my $1 million policy.
Yeah, and estate planning and creating a will is really important. And life insurance forms part of that. And we recognize that they're very closely intertwined. And so as an Ethos policyholder, you're going to get that paperwork, or you're going to get the email with the link to doing that. We've tried to leverage on our technological expertise as well, and our making things really easy from a user experience point of view, to make it just as simple to get a will set up. And you'll be surprised. A lot of people, again, are intimidated, just like they are with buying life insurance, about the process of setting up a will. It's actually way easier than you think. And we've used a lot of the same concepts that we use to make life insurance more accessible, to make setting up a will more accessible as well. And so it will feel very similar. If you click on that link to go and set up your will, it's going to take you 10 minutes. Put in a few pieces of information, and you'll have your will set up and stored for you to access at a future date. It's a really important part of estate planning as well.
And that's a free service included with the policy?
Yeah, no additional cost.
So what is a will and how do you set it up? Is it just essentially like a contract of what's going to happen to your estate?
Yeah, it's a statement of what you want to happen to your estate on your passing. And, if you don't have that, there is the chance that your assets in your estate could get tied up while all of that is being sorted through upon your death. Having a will eliminates the need for that. And it can make sure that your beneficiaries get what you wanted to get to them much more quickly in the event of your death. Do you mind if I also talk a little bit, because you've been talking about leads right at the beginning of your talk. You were talking about
that was going to be one of my questions. So please do.
Leads are the driver of growth in your business, I think, as
lifeblood,
as an insurance agent or as an insurance agency. And leveraging Ethos both to convert your leads, which you've purchased, and to acquire new leads is something which we can support with. So what we often encourage new agents to do when they're joining, and if you sign up for one of these new agent webinars I mentioned earlier, you'll hear three things. It's really simple, and I'm sure you will cover this as well. Number one, buy leads. Number two, convert those leads using the easy Ethos process that I've just kind of laid out for you here. And then number three, use the commissions which you earn on converting those leads to reinvest in your business and buy more leads and use that flywheel effect to grow your business. We recommend, like for new agents, but if you've been around for longer, you'll probably do more than this. But we recommend starting with at least buying 100 leads on ILC, on the Integrity Lead Center, and then using the easy Ethos process to convert those leads. And you can do it both ways again, right? You can share your website, you can start an application with each of the leads. That's how to convert your leads, and that's how Ethos can help you convert your leads. Also want to put a plug in for the fact that there are Ethos leads on the Integrity Lead Center. Now, you don't need to use Ethos leads to apply the Ethos process to. So you can buy any leads on ILC and use the Ethos process to convert them. But there are also Ethos leads on ILC. And those Ethos leads, I just wanted to mention, are really high intent leads. Those are customers who came direct to the Ethos website through our various marketing channels, and they have a high intent to buy life insurance. They've already indicated that they want to buy life insurance. They're ready to buy life insurance. They've started filling in the last 4 digits of their social security number. These are folks who are serious and they've made up their mind that this is something that they need. But then for whatever reason, they've dropped off before getting to the end of the interview. And those, I just wanted to say, are what we say when we say Ethos leads are on ILC.
Yep.
And they're worth checking out because they're so high intent and because they're easy to convert.
Yeah. And they're worth they're $15 on the ILC.
Is it within a certain time frame in which they've checked out the site, started the process, and then?
Yeah, I think at the moment it's within 60 days.
Okay.
So they're pretty fresh as well. Obviously high intent. I think the price might recently have inched up to $16 a lead, but still amazing value for the high intent that's behind them.
I've actually personally used a few of those. So the thing is, I'm like, Ethos abandoned cart leads sounds kind of cool. I mean, every time there's a new lead, I just want to
check it out.
So I bought some, And then I called them, and then, I talked to a few other, agents within FFL, and, they said, this works, that works. And, this is why it's important for you to have a network. But, for the people that I actually did speak to, when I said, hey, I'm giving you a call about the life insurance you went online for. And then they're kind of like, who? And I'm like, with Ethos? And they're like, everyone says, oh, okay. Yeah. And then, like, some of them you had to book an appointment with because they weren't available at the moment, but pretty much everyone I spoke to knew what I was referring to.
Right. Yeah. That's fantastic. And, it just takes all of that prep time out of the process for you as an agent, because that customer has already started the application. They're all the way through the Ethos application.
Right.
They know what you're talking about. And so you can really just get them across the finish line, as we like to say.
Well, it kind of brings us full circle from what we were talking about earlier. Because the thing is, I asked them, I'm like, hey, it's about that life insurance you're looking for through Ethos. And then they're like, yeah, I started, but then, I wanted to talk to somebody and there was no one to talk to. And, and so, I kind of just let it go. And I'm like, oh, yeah, exactly why we have agents like me. So I can walk you through the rest of the process.
Right. And, for those Ethos leads that are high intent that have dropped off, we find that more often than not, the reason that they dropped off is because that's the kind of person who wants to have an agent in front of them to purchase insurance. We know that the process is actually really simple, very intuitive, but they still like that comfort of having that personal relationship.
Right. I mean, I'm like that personally, I like to spend money. I'm not shy about saying that, but the thing is, like, I'd rather spend a little bit more at places because I want better service, and I want someone to yell at it in case something goes wrong. Like because I understand, like, in this world, you get what you pay for.
Right.
Like some of the stuff, like, cheap doesn't mean better. Right. Cheap hardly ever means better. But then sometimes, like, you pay a little bit more because you want someone else to be able to fix that problem for you. Like, if I'm paying for a contractor to come in to, like, build something for me, like, if I'm cheap about it and I'm like, I'm paying him the bare minimum, I don't really expect very much out of the guy because, I was being cheap about it.
Yeah.
But if I'm paying this guy a good amount, he comes with a good rep, like, I expect him to fix it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel bad about asking for it afterwards. So you get what you pay for in this life.
Yeah.
So question about that ILC lead. So if it's an abandoned Ethos lead, once I call the client, can I resell them on Ethos and get the credit, or is that going to go back to the original?
You definitely can sell the client Ethos again. In fact, we find more and more that those clients who abandoned the application end up buying Ethos at the end, and it absolutely will be attributed to you as the agent. So let's go through both paths. One path is you use the agent-assisted application. You're starting the application for the client while you're in front of them. Of course, that will be attributed to you because it's got your name next to it. If you went the route of just sharing your personal link for the client, for that lead to follow up on, the one thing you would need to do to make sure it's attributed to you and not to the original individual when they came in, is simply to ask them to use a different email address so that it doesn't confuse it with the original email address. That But in both cases, it gets attributed back to you as the agent. And in any cases where there's maybe some confusion or some doubt, like, just give us a call. We're not in the business of trying to steal leads. It doesn't make business sense for us. We value FFL as a partner and our agent partners as partners, and it doesn't make any sense for us to take leads away from them.
Gotcha.
I might put in a plug there. If you are an existing agent and you are using Ethos, and you do have any queries, whether it would be like attribution of lead, credit, or any other queries about the status of a case that you have, or some technical issue that you need resolved, we do have a dedicated email address for FFL agents that is top priority. And so I just wanted to put it out there because I don't think all agents know that there's this dedicated address for FFL agents that can get them quicker service. It's enterprise@ethos-agents.com. And so I just wanted to get that out there because I don't think many agents are aware of that special service.
I think they just call the customer service.
The first I've heard of it, to be honest. Was there anything else on there that you want to address with us, or?
That was a great conversation. I could talk for like hours on Ethos, but I'm trying to just pack in like the real value adds I think that your agents find from it. And hopefully we can have more conversations like this and share more. We've got those weekly webinars, weekly trainings for new agents. So definitely, if you're a new agent, sign up for that. It's another opportunity to go over these points and learn more. If you're a manager, if you have downlines that you're managing, those bi-weekly manager trainings also on Wednesdays are super useful. So I'd encourage you to sign up for those too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just from my own experience, I mean, learning how to integrate Ethos into our portfolio has required a little bit of imagination, required a little bit of just, and I think it helps that I have this much experience, but you know, it wouldn't have occurred to me in some instances. So like recently I just helped a friend. I had a friend that referred me to a friend who was looking for term life insurance. She applied, they requested for an exam, a physical exam. She didn't want to take it and you know, whatever. So then when my friend referred her over to me, and then I was like, yeah, I can help you out. So I kind of quoted her, went through Ethos, and I was like, hey, here's actually the next step. I can actually do the application for you if you like. I can go through this entire process, or I can send you the link if you prefer. Just handle it on your own time. You know, and I think because we have a mutual friend, she didn't want to give me all her personal details, and she didn't know how invasive it was going to be.
Yeah.
So, and then she's technologically savvy, and all that's fine. So then she was like, "Oh, just send me the link. I'll handle it."
Okay.
And then I sent her the link, and then before I knew it, I get an email. She's approved, and I'm like, "It was really cool."
That's amazing. And then, you know, then you can have a conversation which is less invasive.
Yep.
Because at that point, like if the person's been approved, then it's just a conversation of how can I help you capture your banking information to make sure you get protected today.
Right.
That's again, last mile and much easier to talk about.
Do you have anything else off the top of your head as far as different ways that someone can utilize Ethos that maybe is not the most traditional way of selling?
Yeah, I think I would emphasize this virtuous flywheel that applies really, you know, we push it with new agents because this is the quickest way a new agent can get set up in their business.
Yeah.
But it really applies to even agents that are wildly successful and have been doing this for a number of years. It's all driven by the leads. Like get those leads, invest in those leads, I should say, not get them. A lot of folks see it as an expense, but it's really an investment. Use the easy Ethos process to convert those leads into activated policies and then reinvest the commissions from that to just growing your business.
So if you were an agent here, Brett, and then you bought a bunch of leads, you invested in yourself, would you call those clients first, or would you just automatically send them the link and say, let's put it in God's hands if they decide to do it?
Usually more is better than less in these situations. And so just a single email is probably not going to do it. You know, there might be one or two that understand and click on the link and they're ready to buy life insurance there and then. What's usually more effective is a more comprehensive kind of outreach or marketing campaign, a combination of email, text message, and phone outreach. Also, what's really effective is social media, right? So you can use this Ethos link we've been talking about, your personal website link, and post it in the bio of your social media bio on Facebook, Twitter, whatever, and encourage folks in your social universe who might need life insurance just to go and check out the link in your bio. They can click on it there and they can immediately apply for insurance that way. What we find is usually a combination of approaches works. Sharing it both via text and social media, and then following up with a call is always going to be more effective than a cold outreach.
Sure. Yeah, and then that was a total misconception when we first heard about this, because when Andrew told us about it, but like I told you earlier, I was like, Ethos is our competitor. They're stealing all of our business, these guys. Yeah. But then when we partner with you guys, I'm like, oh, cool. We start raking in the money. Like now we're actually a partner. Now we can actually sell that product. It actually works to our favor. And part of me, like I didn't actually do it, but I was just thinking I could just give out my link to everybody.
Right.
And then like I could just blast it all over social media. And then everyone's going to just like click on it and sign up. And I'm just going to sit back there, do nothing and get paid. I mean, not that was ever my intention to sit back and do nothing, but you know, I think we're a little misguided sometimes to just think, hey, just because there's technology, if we don't do the work, why are we needed? Like, what function and what role do we serve if we don't put in some work?
It's kind of like praying and spraying, right? Like that approach, which it works for one or two folks, but if you really want to be effective, you still got to put the work in. What I hope I've managed to convince folks of today is that Ethos makes you infinitely more effective in going through that discipline process of finding out what clients need, following up with them to get them the cover that they need. So
Correct. And then that's the thing. We just keep experimenting, finding out different and better ways for us to continue to improve our business. Like yesterday, the client I wasn't able to help. I just shot him that text and I shared my text with the group, and I was like, if this helps anybody, here's what I said. And then, hopefully those type of ideas, someone can see it. It may not be for them, but they can edit it. They can put their own spin on it, and hopefully they'll get some success out of it.
That's like, if you want like helpful hints about how to make this more effective, is in examples like that, post them to your social media. And we've got amazing proven marketing templates for social media, for emails, for SMSs of clients that you've managed to convert and have actually been helped by the Ethos process. Just let other folks know that. Let them know how Ethos has worked for those clients, and that will be kind of a virtuous, self-reinforcing process of other clients seeing themselves and the clients that you've made successful to actually also try the Ethos process.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Just one last advice too. Ethos have their own social media. So they put out ads in there, and all you got to do is put it on your story and add your link of your Ethos. Hey, interested? Apply. Click on my link.
Yeah, there's a bunch of approved marketing material on your portal. So if you guys haven't checked it out, go and play around on it for a little bit. It'll help you understand how to make this a little bit more profitable adventure together.
I have a question. Will you guys ever get to the point where, things are getting like crazy with like media and data and stuff, to the point where like even agents can record their own content and incorporate it in the follow-up process? Like agents record their own content, and then like say a text is involved in like a video that was pre-scripted by Ethos based off of the data that you have, that's like the best script, and then like sending that out, stuff like that.
Yeah, so we already have that. If you actually go check out I wouldn't say we have video content yet, but we definitely have email, text, and social media content in the resources section of your Ethos portal, agents.ethoslife.com. You'll see a ton of great examples about that. You'll also get a whole lot of great examples of that in the new agent trainings on Wednesdays.
Great. All right. Well, that was really helpful stuff. I think I personally learned a lot more about Ethos today, and I have some new ideas on how I'm going to try to attack this thing and utilize Ethos a little bit more. So hopefully that helped all you guys. If people wanted to reach out to you, if they had some questions, what's the best way for them to contact you?
You can email me at brett@getethos.com, BRETT. And as I said, if you have any general questions that are specific to a case or to a technical problem that you're having, or to a lead attribution issue that you're having, enterprise@ethos-agents.com is the most effective way to be helped with that.
Right. Yeah, I just wanted to clarify that. Don't email all your individual questions like, hey, how do I get contracted?
Don't email your drama.
But I am really interested in just learning, from those of you who are using the platform, just like what's working, what's not working. I'm really interested in hearing that. So welcome your feedback.
Great. Okay. Well, appreciate your time. Appreciate you coming down to visit. We'll catch up a little bit more at dinner. For everyone else that's on here, got a chance to watch. If you guys have any questions, please reach out to us. I just wanted to thank John, thank Brett once again, thank Marco for helping produce the show, and for Yoel, it's not goodbye. It's just
it's not goodbye. It's bye, Felicia.
All right, guys, let's go be elite. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you guys once again for supporting. If you guys want to see more of that, please make sure you like, subscribe, click on this link here to subscribe. Click on this link for the next video.